This is May 23rd, 2018. Just wanted to show everybody some of the progress we've made on the new landscaping. We moved a bunch of stuff last fall, trying to accommodate a big project in the backyard. So moved a lot of things up front, got rid of a lot of things, simplified. Anyway, the pots are starting to look really nice, and got some marigolds coming up right here, some more color. These two loropetalums, we actually moved them at this size, so was really thrilled that they look pretty good. A little more pruning this fall and some additional TLC should help. And then this little area right here will change quite a bit. This large loropetalum will move over to the front of the house right here where the blueberries are, along with the second one once we get some stonework done. So the early bearing blueberries have actually done really well in these pots and have quite a few blueberries on them. And I'm just excited. It actually looks really good in front of the house. And anyway, it's temporary there until we get our stonework done. So now we have the berm, and we had dug some gigantic holes and spent a good bit of money to put in some larger maples. You can see this maple is really tall, and we were so thrilled to see the leaves come on the tree this spring. And in the meantime, I put a lot of effort into moving some perennials into the berm so that they would have kind of a some kind of continuous color. So this is the back of the berm, what we see from the porch. You can see some canna lilies coming up right there, thanks to a gift from my pastor's wife. And we have daylilies that'll be coming up right here, just the orange tiger lily kind. Some of this wandering Jew stuff that will completely consume this dirt area right here by fall. Be all purple. And so I just love walking by the berm and just getting a nice view of, I don't know, the different angles of the trees and the foliage from the different trees and the different plants. You can see this is coreopsis blooming, the yellow kind of a thing, and then I forget what that little purple annual's called, but that'll all fill in with purple. Come here in maybe a month or two, it'll be filled in. Got some Shasta daisies coming up between the two rock piles. Got some sedum that'll bloom this fall right there. Had some grape hyacinth behind there, and had this gorgeous tulips and some blue purple iris. All that was so pretty. I was really happy with all that. So we got some other annuals, some begonias, some orange zinnias, and some blue salvia planted in the central area behind some more wandering Jew. And then we've got sort of a symmetrical thing going, so we have some of the same plants repeated over here. Probably can see them a little better in the shade. You can see the sedum, and got this lobelia planted in the front here. At some point this will be this almost neon purple color in here, right in front of the coreopsis, which should bloom a good portion of the summer. Got some new little perennials there still hanging on for life. My grape holly back there had to prune. I'm not sure it's going to make it. We're trying to baby it so that it will. So then we've got the western end of the berm from the street side. And you can see I've got a little more of the wandering Jew planted in here, and that should fill in. So then looking back the other way, I just enjoy it so much. Flowers do a lot for my soul. Just the aesthetic of it, I guess. And to the right, we have what we call the hickory bed now. Yellow iris, we're blooming all around it. Behind that is way past their season now, were some daffodils. Have 3 loropetalums we moved over here. One of them is suffering a little bit, but they all have made it and put new leaves out. So excited about that. We had some tulips blooming up here. And then I've planted some zinnias back here. You can see some of them coming up, and some more sedum, so that there'll be something blooming in the summer, something blooming in the fall. And so this is the western corner of our lot. This is what you see first when you drive up. This little section of the house that's sticking out there, that's what we will remove that semicircle window and wagon wheel, whatever you call it, and we will have stone installed on there hopefully this fall, and that should be very nice. And then the same stone will be installed on this mailbox. Right now that's just stone that I've painted on there along with our address. I think it looks pretty darn good. So then we call that one the mailbox bed. The stone sitting there came from the mailbox that got, it actually got knocked over by a neighbor who backed into it. You know, things happen. That's what insurance is for, right? So, got some more annuals planted up here. Now these are 2 more blueberry bushes. These are the mid-season bearers, and so they don't even have any blooms. I'm not sure they're going to bloom this year. I'm just going to keep them alive and see what happens. And then as we go along the street side, you see more of my paint work. The stone mailbox. And you know, the view we get as we leave our property of the berm, the mailbox bed, and the hickory bed. In the front of the house. And then the section to the right of the driveway I've always called the upper 40. Last year we moved made 4 raised beds for this area, moved our small garden up to the front. But you can see Jerry has made some very attractive lattices that really dress it up. And so up front we have 2 more blueberry bushes, and these are the late season bloomers. So we won't get any blueberries off of either the mid-season or late season this year. But over here we got some earth boxes at the end of each bed. The first and last one have zinnias on them, and then the middle ones have a perennial called bee balm, which will attract pollinators. Then in bed number 1, we've got honeydew growing here in the mound in the middle. We have butter lettuce, which is ready to pick. We've got some basil growing on the sides barely, and a really healthy looking tuft of thyme. Got some Lady of the Nile blooming here, not blooming but growing here with some annuals. And we have some more annuals here along with daylilies, and then there are 3 kinds of tomatoes in this bed along with marigolds and some more basil. And there will be dill coming up in there as well. The dill keeps the hornworms off the tomatoes. It's wonderful. Natural. These are heritage red raspberries, ever-bearing, so they'll have a small crop in June, and then they'll have the much larger berries and much larger crop come August through October, actually. So I think they're looking really healthy up here. They seem to like where they are living now. And then in bed number 4, we've got yarrow in the front, just looking so pretty, and it's supposed to be a good companion with the asparagus and the strawberries that we have planted in this bed. These are June-bearing strawberries, recommended for this area. They look super healthy. Only 7 out of 24 plants made it from planting in the fall, but they really look healthy, putting out all kind of shoots. And then we walked to the back past a bush that did not make it. 3 euonymus or burning bushes. And we take a nice sidewalk path back here. We're going to walk past sort of our working area, so it's not the prettiest, but walk back here, and then to the left, here in just a second, you'll see 2 totes, which we've got there to collect 720 gallons of rainwater, and that is really, helpful in a dry spell. So we have a blue spruce here, which will probably go when our backyard project becomes reality. You'll see a part of our fence extension project. Yeah, it's an experiment. The fabric is, even though it's sunbrella, sort of, the fabric has faded quite a bit. Sort of a plus, but anyway. Moved a few perennials back in here. The one bed we did not move is the blackberry bed, and it has been loaded with blooms, and you can see it is really loaded with berries. Can't wait for those to ripen. So in the rest of the yard, we really have a lot of barrenness where we did have vegetable beds that were moved back here, and this is all in hopes of maybe having a pool one day. So we're just moving forward in faith there. So this is an oak tree, a red oak, and it was planted 17 years ago, so it's got a nice girth to it now. And so we really just simplified the landscaping back here to just a simple palette. Really pink and purples, that's all that would be back here. These two lily plants here will bloom purple. And that's a rosemary bush kind of in the middle, and then what's blooming hot pink back there, just so gloriously, that's called rose campion. We've got a wave petunia in there that's a beautiful two-tone purple. Be gorgeous when it blooms. This scrap wood is all put in an area that we hope will be a pergola one day. Just kind of marking the spot. Another annual pot that does have some perennials in it. Got a crepe myrtle, royal night crepe myrtle I'm babying because it almost died in our late frost this year. Some more rosemary. And some other annuals, and a couple of laurel petalums that were really kind of pitiful, but they've sort of filled out a little bit. And some more bee balm back there, and yellow iris. And then we come back around to what was our pond, and it sprang a leak, and you can see behind the sort of temporary water feature there, termites had gotten in there and completely eaten away at the structure of the thing. So Jerry's got a temporary feature there. And here we have these absolutely fabulous violet iris back here, and 3 coreopsis plants, and this is garden phlox. This is the area that I've always called the lower 40, sort of taken from this walkway to the hot tub, and it will be really pretty again one day, but this entire back section of the fence will have a fence extension put on it and a brand new gate, which would be sort of Frank Lloyd Wright-ish. It'll look really good then. The smell of the magnolias is fantastic in the yard right now. There's just a few of them blooming, but oh, maybe more than I thought. The smell is heavenly. This is another tree I planted in 2001 because it was only supposed to be 10 feet wide and 20 feet tall, and you can see it's about 8 feet taller than the house, so I think it exceeded its growth expectations, as most things seem to in this climate. That'll be a orchid color, and this is the best helper in the world taking a break. I hope you all enjoyed the tour of our backyard and front yard.